I'd say the worst part about the trains is how unreliable they are, and it's kind of hard, especially when you're in a city or a place where you don't speak the language, and there are delays, and even the timing looks different because they're on military time, and so reliability in trains would have made it a lot easier, and understanding the announcements that they're making. But obviously, with the language differences, it made it a little harder to kind of understand what was happening a lot of the time. So I would say the delays and just like the unreliability of the trains was a big inconvenience. But then again, once you are in and around train stations a lot, you start to get used to seeing the same kind of signs, and it gets easier every time, and a lot of the signs are pretty self-explanatory, but it definitely takes some getting used to. I don't think there was one trip where we didn't have to ask at least one person, and just as a measure of caution, even because the last thing you want is to get on a one-way direct train to somewhere very far away, and that's really easy, and that could definitely happen. So yeah, I mean, you definitely learn to ask different people for help. I mean, this is the first time I've been traveling on my own, really, especially in another country without my parents or my family. So you just feel a lot of responsibility a lot of the time when you're trying to get from point A to point B, and now there's no one leading us around, kind of telling us where to go or telling us what time our train is coming. So yeah, I mean, you definitely just learn to look out for signs more, and yeah, just kind of like take in your surroundings a lot more. I've noticed like we've all become a lot more used to, opening our eyes and just taking in, kind of what's around us, because that's kind of what you have to do when you're in charge of getting yourself from point A to point B. Well, normally the first thing we do is we find a ticket machine, and purchase our tickets, and then wait for the indicator screen to show us what track the train is coming on, or what side of the train track we need to be on. So yeah, first always head to the ticket machine, and then next is try and find a screen or something that tells you where to go to wait for your train. I think definitely Switzerland has been the easiest, solely based on the reliability of the trains. They're a lot more reliable, although they still have some delays sometimes. When we were in Italy, it's not uncommon for trains to just get delayed by hours, which we had happen to us. So I would say Switzerland's definitely a lot easier to be in on travel through on a train than Italy or some other countries I've been in. And I think it also, they do a good job with incorporating English into their signs, as well as other countries. But I've noticed that especially in Switzerland.